Tonight, infected with West Nile virus.
I guess I got bitten by a mosquito doing lawn work here in the backyard.
A Cambridge resident's complications and his call of caution.
It can be the 1% like me that ends up in serious cases.
To everyone. Feeling crushed by construction.
My business is down 8.5%. Now, I'm lucky it's only 8.5%.
Why some Kitchener business owners say the installation of a roundabout
we will be out of business if this stays. I won't be operating in January.
Could cost them deeply. More details for dispatchers.
911, do you need police, fire, or ambulance?
How a major upgrade to local 911 systems
we will receive not only enhanced caller information, but also location information.
Is bringing emergency responders to the next level. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. The weather may be cooling down, but the risk of mosquito-borne illness hasn't gone away. Tonight, a Cambridge resident is sharing his experience with contracting West Nile virus, even as summer turned to fall. The complications left him in hospital for several days. Let's go to CTV's Krista Simpson now with more on this story tonight. Krista.
Tony, most people that contract West Nile virus don't experience symptoms, and those that do usually don't get too sick. But a Cambridge man says he is among the 1% that did, and he's sharing what it was like. He's also reminding people to take precautions while the mosquitoes are still around. Rene Vandenberg thinks his ordeal began here in his backyard, a place where he often spends time.
I guess I got bitten by a mosquito doing lawn work here in the backyard is my most logical explanation.
He developed headaches that after a few days became so painful, he went to the hospital. After many tests, he received a diagnosis that came as a surprise.
Turned out that it was viral meningitis as a result of West Nile.
West Nile virus is transmitted through mosquitoes. On Friday, Region of Waterloo Public Health confirmed it had its first human case of the virus since last year, and a second case has been identified since.
As we experienced a very hot summer with continued warm temperatures into September, this has extended the life cycle of mosquitoes in our region.
Public Health issuing a reminder that people should continue to take precautions to try and avoid mosquito bites, like using repellents and covering up with long sleeves, pants, and a hat.
We also recommend that residents eliminate mosquito breeding grounds, not to allow outdoor objects to collect water, cover your rain barrels with a fine mesh screen, change the water in bird baths at least once a week.
Vandenberg doesn't have standing water in his backyard and says contracting the virus in mid-September was unexpected.
I thought mosquitoes would die off at the end of August when temperatures get colder at night.
Vandenberg ended up spending 11 days in the hospital. He's now home and recovering.
I still have a little bit of a headache. Right now, it's manageable with Advil.
Most people who contract West Nile virus don't have any symptoms, and those that do often recover at home.
Those who do have symptoms most typically have a mild febrile illness that can last for a few days. Mild meaning it's not usually severe enough to bring people into hospital, but people can feel pretty crummy for a couple of days.
But Dr. Isaac Bogoch says 1 to 2% can experience neuroinvasive disease that can be serious.
The key here is prevention. Make sure that people are aware that it's circulating at certain times of year, and then taking steps to avoid and prevent mosquito bites to prevent transmission of this infection.
Vandenberg says his story is a reminder to take those easy precautionary steps.
1% is not as little as you think it is.
Dr. Bogoch says it is important to be aware of West Nile virus, just as it is important to be aware of tick-borne illnesses. Take the appropriate precautions against being bitten, but don't let it prevent you from spending time in the great outdoors. Tony.
Still timely advice as we head into fall. Krista, thank you. CTV's Krista Simpson live with our top story tonight. Figures from the federal government suggest much of the respiratory illness across the country right now is being caused by COVID-19. The latest respiratory virus surveillance report found 11.4% of COVID tests were positive as of late September, versus figures of less than 1% for influenza and RSV. Out of all lab-confirmed respiratory virus outbreaks in recent weeks, a full 97% were connected to COVID. Hospitalizations for respiratory viruses in general are trending upward. And this comes as Ontario ramps up its fall vaccine rollout. High-risk and priority groups can already get COVID shots and flu shots where they're available. The general public can have access to them as of October 27th. Meanwhile, Ontario hospitals say they need an additional $1 billion this year to keep pace with factors like population growth and inflation. The Ontario Hospital Association says member facilities had a collective deficit of $360 million last year and face more pressures this year. The organization says the $1.1 billion the provincial government announced for hospitals in the spring budget is just half of what they need to meet complex financial and operational challenges. It's being called a Canadian first. A Toronto hospital has performed a transplant using a heart that was revived after the donor died and the heart stopped beating. It's something that could save more lives, and it gives hope to those on organ wait lists. CTV's Heather Wright has more on this breakthrough and who stands to benefit from the innovation.
Nearly 1 million Canadians are living with heart failure, many waiting for a transplant that may never come.
Many of them never make it to actually get that good news, that phone call that we found a heart for you. So this will provide hope for them that there will be a heart.
That hope is care of a new procedure Dr. Syed Ali Reza Rabi performed in early September at Toronto General Hospital. A heart transplant from a donor whose heart had stopped beating. The first time this cutting-edge procedure has been performed in Canada.
The heart is warm, meaning that it's not cooled to protect it, and it is not getting oxygen or nutrients. So this is a vulnerable time for a heart. So we have to take that heart out and through special techniques, preserve it, bring it back, and put it in the person and hope that the heart starts beating.
Typically, heart donations come from people who are brain dead, but oxygen is still circulating in the body and their organs are still functioning. This procedure, first pioneered in Australia a decade ago, will open the pool of possible donors, and early data suggests the outcomes are similar.
And it looks like there is no difference between the outcome of the hearts of people who've received hearts from a traditional brain dead donor versus circulatory dead donor.
Right now, who is eligible for this procedure depends on where they live, as doctors don't want the donated heart to be outside of the body for more than an hour. But there is hope as new technology becomes available. Hearts will be able to travel anywhere in Canada, saving many more lives. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Time for a first check on the weather. Let's head over to Alex Pinto in studio with all the details. Nice to see that sun back today, but boy, that wind coming from the north certainly made it feel a bit cooler and just looks cool on that board behind you there, all that light blue.
Light blue. When we think of light blue, well, obviously we're not into any snow, but frost. That's going to be the big talk about as we get into the overnight hours and into tomorrow. So starting with this, some areas in southern Ontario under this frost advisory issued by Environment and Climate Change Canada. So when temperatures could go near zero or below, that freezing mark. So tonight into tomorrow morning. So really we're going to notice it into the overnight hours. Even by 6 a.m. tomorrow, it could be quite cool. So this is when frost could damage crops. So we really want to cover up our plants at home as well, or if you have planters, maybe on the porch. But some areas under this right now. So the GTHA, so Hamilton, Brantford area, some areas of the GTHA outside of the city of Toronto, London, Port Stanley, Chatham, Kent, if we are going to be a little bit more south and west. So when we look at our satellite and radar map, though, nice clear conditions for us here in Kitchener-Waterloo. 13 degrees is where we're sitting for this time. So we're definitely feeling more seasonal. And to your point, Tony, with that breeze, it is feeling even cooler out there.
Quite fresh. Okay, We'll get the rest of the details for you later. Alex, thank you. Part of Bridge Street West in Kitchener was closed today after a man on a skateboard was hit by a vehicle. CTV's Alexandra Hollick now with what we've learned so far about this collision.
A blanket, a skateboard, and a smashed windshield. Debris dotting a stretch of Bridge Street West near Woolwich Street in Kitchener.
It became evident that someone had actually been hit because I saw the skateboard sitting on the traffic island in the middle. So I was just worried about the guy that got hit or whoever it was.
Police say a 28-year-old man was riding a skateboard when he was hit by an SUV around 10:40 Wednesday morning. He was taken to an out-of-region hospital with serious injuries.
So
Grant Millard lives nearby and says he watched the investigation unfold.
I saw a couple of police officers demonstrating to each other what might have happened, and it looked like they were demonstrating that the victim had fallen over with his elbow onto the hood of the car and then up onto the windshield.
Millard says it's the first time he's heard of someone getting hit, but other incidents and close calls have happened before.
We've seen a lot of mostly bicycles, but also some electric scooters, and they kind of lose control on the curve and they end up slamming into this house here that we can see the black roof of. In the time that we've been here, it's probably happened 30 or 40 times.
This crash happened near a crosswalk with signage that reads, "Pedestrians yield to traffic." But one cyclist lawyer says in most cases, the onus is on motorists.
Pedestrians should follow the rules of the road, but drivers really rolling around in 2,000 pounds of motorized steel need to take priority in safety here.
As for Millard, he says he isn't sure what more can be done to improve safety on the street, but hopes everyone involved is okay.
I wish the victim all the best, and I also wish the people that were driving the car all the best. I'm sure it was traumatic for everyone involved.
Alexandra Hulick, CTV News, Kitchener.
A community fixture in Cambridge has reopened following a major facelift. The Preston Memorial Auditorium has undergone 2 years and millions of dollars worth of work. There are still a few finishing touches underway, but it's open now, and CTV's Spencer Turcotte gives us a look.
At first glance, the building is unrecognizable, but the big bold letters out front give away its identity. In 2023, the Preston Memorial Auditorium still looked like this and was in need of some upgrades.
The old building was built in the early 1970s when accessibility wasn't really as top of mind.
That was only one area in need of a makeover, so council approved the renovations.
Back in 2023, we closed down the building after the season was finished. We went to council with a report requesting approval for project construction budget of $33 million. We're still spending money, but we're going to land on or under that $33 million.
Fast forward and the doors are open again. The official grand opening is postponed as workers fine-tune the latest additions.
We're standing right now in the new arena.
The newly built second rink will have some cool features for fans, like countertops for drinks.
So to be able to stand here with your Timmy's coffee and just bang on the glass. Not too hard.
In addition to making both rinks accessible from the ground level, accessibility was also top of mind for the change rooms, which the arena only had 6 of beforehand.
There are 12 team change rooms. There are 3 referee rooms. There's an additional change room for the Preston Rivalettes Hockey Club that's dedicated to them. So you're looking at 16 change rooms.
The additional space puts the Preston Odd in a better position to host tournaments, whether that's for hockey, lacrosse, or figure skating.
We're going to have this open for community skates as well.
That will happen in a phased approach. The focus now is on practices and games, which have begun. And while the Preston Memorial Odd wants to honor its past,
this building was dedicated to the glorious memory of the men of Preston who gave their lives in World War I and World War II.
City staff are excited to welcome visitors to their new home. Spencer Turcotte, CTV News, Preston.
Sign up for the CTV Kitchener newsletter to start your day in the know. We've got the day's top stories, the latest forecast, and some must-see videos. Sign up over at ctvnewskitchener.ca. Game on once again. Waterloo Region and the rest of Canada watching to see if the Jays can mount a comeback after blowing it last night. We'll check in with Colton Weens a little later in the show, live on location as some local fans are getting all set to take in tonight's Game 4 in the American League Division Series.
Risk of frost as we get into the overnight hours for some. I'll let you know how cool it could get and an early check at your Thanksgiving weekend forecast coming up a little later.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvkitchener.ca, your home for news. When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
A summit being held in Toronto may be helping to shed some light on what's to come with U.S.-Canada trade relations. The U.S. Commerce Secretary, speaking virtually, gave a clearer picture of what the U.S. is after when it comes to autos, among other things. CTV's Siobhan Morris has more on what was said.
A comprehensive, collaborative auto deal between Canada and the U.S. not in the cards, according to the U.S. Commerce Secretary. Howard Lutnick made the comments in a closed-door session of the 2025 U.S.-Canada Summit hosted by BMO and Eurasia Group. Sources in the room say Lutnick said Canada needs to come second to the U.S. on cars, that America could buy auto parts, but that's about it.
I would say it's a massive threat when you have the Secretary of Commerce coming out and saying that, and the President, you'd only say it if the President gave him the green light. So we have to be prepared.
Lutnick's words, a stronger version of what we heard from Donald Trump yesterday when the Prime Minister visited the Oval Office.
It's a tough situation because we want to make our cars here. At the same time, we want Canada to do well making cars. So we're working on formulas, and I think we'll get there.
Ontario's auto industry has been struggling under the weight of tariffs and the uncertainty they've injected into the market.
As I've always said, the auto pack's been around since the 1960s. You can't unscramble an egg, you have to make the omelet larger.
The head of the Auto Parts Manufacturers Association doesn't see that automakers with operations on both sides of the border can handle the White House's approach long term.
Are you ready to possibly face bankruptcy, at least on some of your brands? Because the White House has an opinion on what types of jobs it wants to see. I don't think so.
In his virtual session, Lutnick also advocated breaking up CUSMA renegotiations, striking separate deals with Canada and Mexico.
They keep saying that they find Mexico easier to deal with, so I think they are probably going to do that. So I think the Canadian idea that we have to hug Mexico on all of these issues, we've got to revisit that.
Doug Ford has pushed for disentangling from Mexico off and on. Just a few weeks ago, Mark Carney brushed off the notion of Canada going at it alone.
CUSMA, USMCA, is strength together. It's strength of the three countries together.
Well, let's say hello once again to our tower camera. Glad it's playing along tonight because we've got a beautiful shot of the skyline as we head toward a sunset. You can tell that high pressure has rolled back in. Look at that beautiful clear sky. Although it has cooled down a bit, right? We are feeling a lot more like the second week of October now. Alex is back in just a couple of moments to give us a look at the long-range forecast. And also coming up, we will say hello to Huberta's house as we continue touring historic German halls during this Kitchener-Waterloo Oktoberfest. You know, Alex, I thought about getting out a heavier jacket today. I thought about looking to figure out which box in which room I had the scarves in and stuff, and then I went, no, not yet.
It's funny you say that because I definitely did not dress warm enough for my walk with the dog this morning. I felt like afterwards I was like, I need a hat or some earmuffs or something because it was quite chilly.
It's actually remarkable how chilly it was to start the day, but then when I rolled in here at 4 o'clock and got out of my car, the sun, it actually almost felt warm because I was on the side of the building where we weren't getting a lot of the wind, so the sun made a huge difference at times today.
It really did, and especially with the wind gusts, you know, 20 kilometers an hour at some point felt more like 40, so it was strong depending on where you were. And yes, if you weren't in that direct sunlight, it would have felt a little bit cooler out there. So especially if you're maybe walking in the shade. And it's a cool evening out there as well too, as we take a live look outside this hour and inside rather, pardon me. Beer Town in Uptown Waterloo. Okay, getting ready for the big game tonight, which I know what you'll be doing this evening, Tony.
I don't know what you mean. I'll be working, Alex.
Working while maybe just keeping one eye on me. But when we're getting into the talk of risk of frost, so some of you, I know you were chatting a bit before, Tony, tonight our overnight low, we were expected to get down to 0, but why are we not under Environment Canada's advisory like some other areas. This is because of specific growing season criteria for different regions in Ontario, which, yeah, is pretty interesting. So that said, though, we are definitely at risk to see some frost getting into the overnight hours, so dropping below that 0-degree mark as well. But yeah, so many people, okay, already filling up Beertown. They're getting ready for the big game for this evening, but starting with that frost advisory. So that is why we are not under that advisory here in Kitchener-Waterloo in particular. But if you could take a look at the rest in that blue, London, Port Stanley, Chatham-Kent, the GTHA, some areas there are under that criteria this hour. So this expected tonight into early Thursday morning, and frost, again, this is when they could potentially damage crops. And when it comes to at home, this is when we might want to put maybe a bed sheet over our planters at home. So something Tanya from Royal City Nursery mentioned to me earlier today, so a good little tip there. Taking a look at just some temperatures across the province. So it's 12 degrees for us here in Kitchener-Waterloo, but just to compare further to the north, 7 in Timmins, 5 in Moosonee right now. It is 9 in Sudbury, so a little bit further north feeling those single-digit temperatures, and even 11 in Goderich this hour too. So we are definitely, though, in that seasonal territory in terms of daytime highs, but overnight low is definitely below seasonal. So looking at our futurecast for the rest of the evening, pretty nice clear sky. We could see maybe just a cloud or so as we get into your overnight hours and starting off your Thursday, but more sunshine is expected to stick with us as we look to wrap up the work and school week, and even getting into your Friday. This is when we could see a little bit more cloud cover start to build up. So just a few clouds expected as we drop down to our overnight low of 0, and tomorrow 15 degrees is our expected daytime high. Sunny sky in store. That UV index, we're noticing that coming down a little bit compared to what we saw at the beginning of the week. So tomorrow, as well as today, sitting at 4. So again, we are seasonal for this time of year. Record high, though, 30 degrees. We saw that back on this day in 2007. And in terms of sunrise and sunset, this has definitely been noticeable. So that sun setting at 6:51 p.m. and that sun rising shortly before 7:30, which, yeah, it's kind of hard to believe. So Waterloo region over the next few days, that sunshine expected to stick around, high of 15, even 18 for your Friday. So a pretty nice, comfortable conditions as we get to your Thanksgiving weekend. Lambton, Kenton, Essex, mainly sunny sky for you. High of 16 degrees, 6 in terms of your overnight low. We could see a chance of showers by Saturday roll through. And Southern Georgian Bay, a little bit of a cooler day for you tomorrow as well, with plenty of sunshine and a low of 1 degree. And here is tonight's Weather Watcher picture. We've received so many great shots of the harvest moon. This one was sent to us by Lucy in Georgian Bay. And you can see that great shot of the moon's reflection on the water there. So thank you so much for sending this and being tonight's Weather Watcher. Also jealous of your view. Yeah, that's a beautiful shot.
Stunning. Thank you for busting the myth about the frost advisory, by the way. So a frost advisory only applies where it is still an active growing season.
So in terms of hitting that criteria, which is kind of fascinating.
Yeah, so, which makes sense because south of us, it is still the growing season for a little while.
But still risk of frost here, so watch the plants tonight.
Yep, it's still out there nonetheless. Okay, now we're continuing during this Oktoberfest 2025 to highlight local German clubs and all they have to offer.
So Leanne had a chance to check out Huberta's house to learn more about making one of their famous dishes that they're going to be serving up. Have a look.
Okay, we are back here in the kitchen now, and we are making Spätzle poutine today. So this is kind of cool because German meets Canadian cuisine. Before we get to assembling the poutine, we need to learn about Spätzle. And Jen, the process to making this is quite intensive. There was many hours, labor of love here in the kitchen at Huberta's house.
Yes, absolutely. So Spätzle is a German egg noodle. It's a simple dough, water, eggs, flour, some salt. Then what we do, we make big batches. We put it through a sausage stuffer into like these extruders, and then we put those into a machine that we had specially made for this, and the hydraulic press presses it into the water. They boil, then we take them out, separate them, cool them, and freeze them.
Okay, how many people does this process take?
There's about 20 of us that do it for 9 hours on one Sunday in September.
Anya, what has the feedback been like? You guys have been serving this here for the past 3 years or so.
Yes, well, they love it. Everybody loves it, including me. And especially when you've had maybe a little bit to drink, this just hits so different. And poutine is just really, just hits the spot, you know?
It's the perfect dish. Okay, let's make it. So you guys talk me through this.
Okay, we're gonna start with the Spätzle. So here we go. put like, I don't know, maybe 2.
Yeah, we need a good amount.
So we're making a hefty poutine today.
Okay, perfect. That looks good. There's our base.
Yeah, I'll do some sausage. So you can get any choice of meat. You can get schnitzel, sausage, or roll braten.
I'll let you do the cheese. I'll top it off with the gravy here. Okay, that looks so good.
That looks delicious, actually.
And then we're just going in with the final touch. How much would you guys say? Like,
don't be shy, girl.
Okay. Look how good that looks.
Good.
Oh my gosh, that looks amazing.
It just looks
Okay, now we have to try our dish, of course. Now I need to make sure I get some spätzle,
We need a little bit
a
of
little cheese, and the sausage as well. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you guys for having me.
Everybody.
Prost.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be a big hit as we get into Oktoberfest season for sure. And of course, if you didn't watch that full segment during CTV News at 5, you can check that out online, ctvnewskitchener.ca, along with the other ones that we've been previewing, which have been so fun to visit.
Perfect reminder, perfect moment too to remind people that we got a big show coming up this Friday. Of course, we've got the keg tapping, we've got the kickoff to the signature weekend, the parades on Monday, so do not miss.
No, lots of Oktoberfest fun, and yeah, we're going to be broadcasting live from there on Friday as well, so we'll have some fun there during CTV News at 5, and we're going to stick around, I think, for the 6 o'clock show as well.
Excellent. I know you will. Yes, you can leave me back here by myself out there having that fun. That's okay. It's a good time to kick it all off.
Exactly.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
Some Kitchener business owners say a major construction project could shut them down. They're frustrated with the work underway to build a roundabout at Ottawa Street and Westmount Road. CTV's Karis map is at the intersection in question with more on what those business owners are saying. Karis, first of all, tell us a little bit about this project.
Well, Tony, this phase of the project began earlier this year in April. According to the Region of Waterloo's website, all work is scheduled to be wrapped up next month. But nearby business owners I spoke to earlier say even if the roundabout opens on time, they'll still be feeling the financial impact long after construction completion. Construction continues in Kitchener with phase 2 of the project focusing on Ottawa Street South and Westmount Road East. The $10.2 million regional project includes upgrading infrastructure such as water pipes and sewers and installing a roundabout. But the work is proving to be bad for business.
People they avoid this area like the plague. I had a customer yesterday say that. Doesn't come near here unless it's to get his hair cut.
Currently, Ottawa Street remains closed from Westmount to Pinedale Drive. Westmount is seeing lane reduction, causing heavy traffic.
They say in late October, they're opening a single lane of traffic going every direction. And that'll be a nightmare because this is a very busy intersection and it's just going to back traffic up.
Raising concerns about the timeline of the project, but the region says it's all going according to plan.
We're certainly well aware of all of these frustrations that folks have raised, and again, appreciate everyone's consideration as we wrap up for this fall and into next year.
Business owners in the plaza at 645 Westmount Road say their customers have been overwhelmed trying to access the plaza.
So you're trying to make sure you don't hit people or pylons or signs. Like there's just too much. It's too much.
As a result, sales are also on the decline.
My business is down 8.5%. Now, I'm lucky it's only 8.5%. We have a loyal clientele, so we're pretty fortunate there. 2 of the businesses in the plaza that I've spoken to the owners, they're down 50%. That's huge.
This M&M Meat franchise owner says he's feeling the effects of the construction and worries for his future, adding the company makes the bulk of their revenue in a 6 to 8 week period.
From the middle of November till January 1st. Everything else is break even or lose a bit of money, and then we make it all up in that period of time. We're very busy over the Christmas season. We will be out of business if this stays. I won't be operating in January.
And the numbers don't lie.
We are $80,000 in sales we've lost since the beginning of May. $80,000. If it doesn't end soon, by the time December 1st rolls around, people won't bother coming down here. And those last 5 weeks leading into New Year's Eve, we're out of business. We will be literally out of business.
The region says they sympathize with the impacted businesses, but reiterate the importance of the work being done.
We know that construction brings inevitable disruption to businesses and residents and folks passing through town. We appreciate people's patience.
Once the roundabout opens, crews will be back next year to complete the asphalt paving. Anyone interested in the latest updates on the project can text the code OTWA to 57555. Tony.
Okay, Karis Mapp in Kitchener. Karis, thank you. Ontario's local 911 systems are getting major upgrades. New technology being rolled out is giving dispatchers and responders critical new details about callers. CTV's Hannah Schmidt joining us live with more. Hannah, Waterloo Region and Guelph both switching now to what's called Next Generation 911. So what makes it stand out?
Well, Tony, police services say it's helping them locate callers faster and send help more efficiently. And unlike the previous system, Next Generation 911 can support real-time text messaging and live emergency video calls.
911, do you need police, fire, or ambulance?
The call for help often comes when every second counts. And with Next Generation 911, dispatchers at the Guelph Police Communications Center can now pinpoint exactly where that call is coming from.
We first started working on our transition to NG 911 back in 2021. We will receive not only enhanced caller information, but also location information that will allow our officers to respond to that need for assistance in far more greater efficiency and effectiveness.
The new system also includes better cybersecurity and more backup capability in case of technical failure. While there will be technological improvements, police say people won't notice a big change when they call in.
We collect all kinds of data with regards to our answer times, the number of 911 calls, how long they wait before we get to answer them, so we're able to measure, where we're doing good and where we can improve.
Unlike the previous system, Next Generation 911 can support real-time text messaging and live emergency video calls.
Individuals who perhaps might need medical treatment, the ability to real-time text or to audio or video, transmit their messaging, it just offers them an enhancement that they don't already have.
It's all part of a $230 million provincial investment to upgrade emergency communication systems across Ontario. 911 operators in Guelph have been using the new system for close to a month, saying it's been a welcome change.
I would say this is the next evolution of the steps we've been taking to kind of advance the development of our service in one of Ontario's fastest growing cities.
Waterloo Regional Police also transitioned to the new system last month. In 2024, Guelph Police responded to over 125,000 calls, and Waterloo Regional Police answered more than 366,000 calls.
Guelph, please.
Now, local emergency personnel are hopeful the new technology will make service even faster.
If I had a crystal ball, I would forecast this to enhance the service that we are able to provide to the community. It's an opportunity for us to improve upon the already high level of community safety service that we provide to the community.
The Ontario government provided funding for both local police services to make the switch. Since 2022, Waterloo Regional Police received $3.8 million and Guelph Police got $2 million for the transition. Tony.
Okay, CTV's Hannah Schmidt with that report. Hannah, thank you for that. And we're going to take a quick break. Back in 2 minutes. Stay with us. The union representing striking Canada Post workers will meet tonight with the federal minister in charge of the Crown Corporation. About 55,000 workers walked off the job 2 weeks ago after Procurement Minister Joel Lightbound announced changes to Canada Post's mandate. They would allow for the end of daily mail delivery, the expansion of community mailboxes, and the closure of some rural post offices. The corporation welcomed the changes and tabled a new offer last week, but the union is accusing Ottawa of trampling on the collective bargaining process. Today, the Jobs Minister urged the union to respond to the latest offer.
No, listen, these parties have to sort it out. They have to, first of all, realize that the responsibility is on the parties. There is a union and there is an employer and there is a process, and they all know the process. The process is that they negotiate till they get to a deal that everybody can live with. And so our expectation is if the union is not satisfied with that offer, they should table a counteroffer. That's how mediation works. That's how negotiations work. And the Federal Mediation Service is there to help them have those conversations.
And we should note the minister did not respond directly to a question about whether the government would intervene to end the strike by using the Canada Labour Code. All right, time to recap our top stories. Leanne Evans in studio with us for more. Kind of story we don't hear that often, Leanne. A Cambridge resident sharing his experience about contracting West Nile virus.
Renee Vandenberg believes he was bitten by a mosquito while doing work in his backyard in mid-September. He developed headaches that became so painful he went to the hospital. After a series of tests, he says he was eventually diagnosed with viral meningitis as a result of West Nile virus. He's now sharing his experience to remind people to take precautions to avoid getting bitten by mosquitoes, even this late in the season. A skateboarder was seriously hurt after a crash involving an SUV in Kitchener today. It happened around 10:40 this morning in the Bridge Street West and Woolwich Street area. Police say the 28-year-old man was sent to an out-of-region hospital with serious injuries. The road was closed for the investigation and reopened around 1 p.m. Police are asking anyone with information to get in touch.
Okay, and online, looking at what our digital team's working on, Leanne, a story about a police service dog that used his nose to sniff out a suspect.
Yeah, he actually helped police arrest someone who was trying to break into a home in Brantford. Police service dog Mac caught the suspect while he was running away through several backyards trying to get over a fence. You can read the full story and get more information about the arrest online by scanning the QR code on the bottom left of your screen, or you can go to ctvnewskitchener.ca. I think Mac deserved a treat after that one.
No kidding. One clever canine. Okay. Leanne, thank you.
You got it.
Disney is out with its annual expected price increases for its U.S. parks as travel and spending habits shift. Prices differ based on the exact package and the time of year, but the most expensive single-day, single-park ticket will go up 5% at Florida's Disney World to $209 U.S. plus tax. In California, the price is up to nearly $224. That's a 9% jump. But there have also been a number of discount offers rolled out. Travel industry insiders say that's a sign Disney may have an unusually large number of rooms to fill. Back here in southern Ontario, Marineland is pushing back against one of the proposals to relocate its 30 beluga whales. Last week, Ottawa denied permission for the shuttered park to send the animals to a facility in China. Marineland responded with a request for emergency funding, saying it didn't have enough money to feed the belugas and may have no choice but to euthanize them. Fisheries Minister Joanne Thompson has said that she would like to see the whales sent to a sanctuary. Marineland argues no such destination is available for 30 belugas, including a paused project in Nova Scotia. Back on time, a landmark in Guelph reborn. CTV's Ashley Bacon will tell us about the restoration of Floral Clock coming up a little later in the show. The Toronto Blue Jays hoping to turn things around tonight after Game 3 slipped away from them last night. They gave up a lead that they would never get back. Well, first pitch just minutes away now in the Bronx. The Jays are going to try for a second time to finish off the New York Yankees in Game 4 of the American League Division Series. Okay, let's head to CTV's Colton Weens, live now at Beertown in Uptown Waterloo. Fan excitement spreading. Colton, you know, they kind of blew it last night, so I'm sure that a lot of fans are really anticipating this one tonight.
Yeah, no, you're completely right about that, Tony. Last night I was at Moose Winooski's in Kitchener, and there were lots of fans there cheering. The atmosphere was great, but you were right. That little bit of a letdown let everyone down. But the atmosphere here is getting ready for the game. The TVs are already set to the Jays game. Now, we still have 20 minutes till first pitch, so we'll start to see the jerseys and the fans really start to trickle in. But the restaurant here is more than set for the game, and they already plan to play it on the TV. Now, this time of the year is a great time for sports fans, especially in this area, to cheer for hockey starting and basketball getting underway and Major League Baseball playoffs. But historically, Toronto hasn't gone too far in the playoffs or even qualified for October baseball. So you can see the impact of it already. The restaurant tells me that people have been calling throughout the day to see if the restaurant will be playing the Jays game with sound, because they usually play sports, but they don't usually have the sound on. We spoke with Beertown management a little earlier, telling us while they always show sports on their televisions, the Blue Jays playoffs has brought a lot of excitement.
Beertown always feels like a community, but the sense of camaraderie and connection just amongst our guests and our staff is definitely amplified. We don't normally play the sound during the playoffs, but for something like this, we're definitely having the sound on and just, yeah.
So the sound will be on, you'll be able to hear the game, and then of course, also the Maple Leafs have their home opener tonight, so a lot for Toronto fans to cheer for. Leafs get underway right at 7, and then the Jays soon after. Of course, we'll have that excitement and reaction from fans and what happens in the Jays game tonight at 11:30. Tony.
There was just a shot of Aaron Judge on the screen behind you there, Colton. I'm sure fans are hoping he doesn't have a repeat of that. Can we call it a dinger? That home run last night that ended up being a dinger? Yeah.
I'm supposed to be impartial, but
yeah, I know.
I kind of feel that way too.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Colton. We'll check in with you at 11:30 too for fan reaction. Appreciate that. Okay, but now let's check in with the national newsroom for a look at what's coming up at 11.
Tonight, new hope for a life-saving organ.
Many of them never make it to actually get that good news.
How Canadian cutting-edge technology is transforming heart transplants and positive patient outcomes. Later on CTV National News.
Risk of frost as we get into the overnight hours. I'll also let you know how cool it could be to start off your day, and wake up weather coming up after the break. Here's tonight's CTV Line Up the Floor, starting at 7 o'clock before shifting gears at 8. Then back-to-back episodes of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, and then at 9:30, The Amazing Race.
It's Jeff, KP, and Backstage Ben in the morning.
3 awesome people that want to start your day or finish your overnight shift.
You'll laugh, you'll text, you'll call, you'll scratch your head, and maybe even beat Backstage Ben. Weekday mornings from 5:30 to 10.
Listen live on the iHeartRadio app or at 105.3 Virgin Radio.
Leanne's back with us now for a look at some stories we're following for later tonight. Leanne.
Tony, an illegal psilocybin shop in Brantford has shut down again less than a month after a police search closed the store. We'll bring you more details on the latest search and charges laid. Also, we'll be keeping a close eye on Game 4 of the ALDS. The Blue Jays couldn't quite complete that sweep last night, but they have another chance tonight to eliminate the Yankees as they push towards the World Series. Colton Weens, of course, checking in with fans here in Waterloo Region to find out how they are cheering on the Jays in Game 4. Of course, first pitch just a few minutes away now, so I think I've got to go.
Get home, Leanne. Get that dinner on the table and put that game on. That's right. Enjoy. We'll talk to you later. You know, I'm going to be watching, obviously, too, keeping an eye on it because it's part of my job tonight.
Yes.
To do
work.
that.
It's for work.
It is work. Everyone's being so diplomatic too, saying that they let the lead slip away from them, and then I'm saying they blew it last night. I think I was listening to too much sports radio on my way home last night.
It's okay.
Chilly night ahead too. Good night to be inside watching the game.
Yes, this is going to be the perfect night to be inside, get cozy, and keeping our fingers crossed that we get a big win tonight. But overnight, expected to drop to 0. And look at this by 6 a.m. We're actually going to be dropping down -1, clear with that frost risk expected to stick around. We should be hitting around 6 by 10 in the morning, though.
Okay, finally for us tonight, an iconic Guelph landmark ticking away once again after the city undertook a major restoration.
It comes just in time to celebrate a major anniversary. CTV's Ashley Bacon with that story.
This is a Guelphy thing, and people love it.
and it's neat to have it back up and running again.
For the last 20 years, time has stood still at the floral clock at Riverside Park in Guelph.
The clock was fatigued a little bit, the mechanisms, and also kind of dealing with some, a little bit of unintended vandalism. People sitting on the clock hands, things like that, damaging the gearing, which over the years has been quite challenging.
Originally constructed in 1954, some of the clockwork was handcrafted.
Historically, it was like one guy that kind of on the back of a napkin kind of figured out some handmade parts to make the original clock work. So to kind of attack this now as a new project, to get it all updated, upgraded, and it was a big effort by staff.
The complexity of the design, part of why the restoration took so long.
Finding detailed design from 70 years ago, difficult if not impossible. So we really were, through a staff-led project, really almost starting new with the gearing and the mechanisms and adding some modern touches to the clock as well.
The project completed for the Horticultural Society's 125th anniversary. And after so many years, the clock has helped mark many milestones.
Very traditional that people, wedding parties, everybody has their pictures taken here, and it's great that it's going again.
Someone said, hey, they're finally getting it fixed, and again, weeks have passed now. Finally today, when we walk by it, it's like, yeah, it's there, awesome.
The restored timepiece working now thanks in part to modern technology.
We're connected to the internet with our clock, so the time will reset automatically so it stays current and take into effect daylight savings time as well.
As for whether or not the clock will remain operational through the winter months, that has yet to be decided. The team says it all depends on Mother Nature. Ashley Bacon, CTV News, Guelph.
How cool.
I did not even know that was there.
And you've been around here a lot longer than I have. And
No
so
idea.
we just found a hidden treasure there. Thank you, Ashley, for that report. And I love Cam Guthrie's word. It's a Guelphy thing.
Guelphy thing. Also the first time I've heard that, too.
New term. Well, that's our time. Thanks so much for watching. We'll be back here tonight with your next local news at 11:30. That's right after the CTV National News at 11. Have a great night. Take care. Go Jays.